In a world of medical science, some heroes don't wear capes or uniforms. Instead, they sit in a chair, roll up their sleeves, and donate blood. James Harrison, an ordinary Australian man, became one of the most extraordinary donors in history. His unique blood contained a rare antibody that helped save the lives of over 2.4 million babies. Known as the man with the golden arm, his selfless act of donating blood more than 1,100 times over 64 years changed the course of medicine forever. It all began when Harrison was just 14 years old. A life-saving surgery required him to receive 13 liters of blood from unknown donors. That moment left a deep impact on him. Once he turned 18, he made a vow to donate blood and help others the way he had been saved. What he didn't know at the time was that his blood wasn't just helpful, it was exceptional. Doctors soon discovered that Harrison carried the anti-D antibody, a rare component crucial in preventing a deadly disease in newborns. Rhesus D hemolytic disease, HDFN, is a condition where a mother's immune system attacks her unborn baby's blood cells. Before Harrison's plasma was used to create a treatment, thousands of babies were at risk of severe complications or death. His donations helped create a life-saving injection known as anti-D immunoglobulin, which has since protected millions of newborns. James Harrison didn't seek fame or recognition. He simply wanted to give back. But in doing so, he became one of the greatest lifesavers in medical history. For data protection and privacy reasons, all images and videos used in this content are AI-generated recreations and do not depict real photos of James Harrison, his family, or the babies he helped save. This ensures respect for privacy while honoring his legacy. James Harrison's journey as a blood donor started with a single, life-altering event. At the age of 14, he underwent a major chest surgery that required a massive blood transfusion, 13 liters in total. He had no idea at the time that this donation from strangers would not only save his life, but also inspire him to change millions of others. As he recovered in the hospital, he learned about the importance of blood donors and how their selfless act had given him a second chance at life. The experience left a deep mark on young Harrison. He realized that if people hadn't donated blood, he might not have survived. It was a powerful moment of clarity, one that led him to make a promise. The day he turned 18, he would become a blood donor himself. It was his way of giving back, a silent tribute to the strangers who had unknowingly saved his life. True to his word, as soon as he reached the legal age to donate, he walked into a blood donation center and rolled up his sleeve for the first time. What started as a simple act of gratitude soon became a lifelong mission. What he didn't know was that his blood was unlike most others. It carried something rare and invaluable. But at that moment, all that mattered to Harrison was fulfilling his promise to help others, just as he had been helped. James Harrison believed he was just another regular blood donor, fulfilling his promise to give back. However, during one of his early donations, doctors noticed something extraordinary in his blood. It contained a rare antibody called anti-D, which could be used to develop a treatment for Rhesus D hemolytic disease, HDFN, a condition where a mother's immune system attacked her unborn baby's blood cells, leading to severe anemia, brain damage, or even death. At the time, thousands of babies in Australia were dying or being born with life-threatening complications due to this disease. There was no effective treatment until Harrison's blood was analyzed. His plasma contained the crucial ingredient needed to create anti-D immunoglobulin, a medication that could prevent HDFN in pregnant women. This was a breakthrough in medical history, a potential cure hiding in the veins of an unsuspecting man. When doctors approached Harrison with the news, they asked for his permission to use his plasma to develop the anti-D injection. Without hesitation, he agreed. He didn't care about the science or recognition. He only knew that if his blood could save lives, he would continue donating for as long as possible. What followed was a scientific breakthrough that would change the fate of millions of babies for generations to come. Once doctors confirmed that James Harrison's blood was the key to preventing rhesus D hemolytic disease, HDFN, a new challenge emerged: the urgent need to create and distribute the anti-D immunoglobulin injection. The medical community had never seen a treatment like this before. Researchers worked around the clock to refine the plasma extraction process, ensuring that every drop of Harrison's blood was used to its fullest potential. The urgency was clear. Thousands of babies were still at risk. If the anti-D injection could be developed quickly, countless lives could be saved. However, the process required a consistent and large supply of Harrison's unique plasma. Since his blood was so rare, it was nearly impossible to find another donor like him. The responsibility weighed heavily on him, but Harrison never hesitated. He committed himself to donating as often as possible, determined to help every baby in need. As the treatment became widely available, pregnant women across Australia began receiving the life-saving injection. For the first time, HDFN was preventable. Babies who might have once been born with severe complications were now arriving healthy and safe. Word of Harrison's contribution spread, and soon he was being hailed as a medical hero. Yet, despite the growing recognition, he remained humble. For Harrison, it wasn't about the fame, it was about the babies. James Harrison's journey as a blood donor wasn't just a short-lived commitment. It became a lifelong mission. For over 6 decades, he dedicated himself to donating blood as often as doctors allowed, knowing that each donation could mean the difference between life and death for an unborn child. His record-breaking 1,173 donations required both physical endurance and unwavering dedication. The process wasn't always easy. There were times when he felt tired, when the needle stung more than usual, or when he had to rearrange his life around donation appointments. Yet, he never considered stopping. For Harrison, every drop of blood given meant another baby saved. As time passed, he saw the tangible impact of his efforts. The Australian medical system credited him with helping save more than 2.4 million babies. Hospitals across the country stocked the anti-D injections made from his plasma, ensuring that pregnant mothers at risk of HDFN had access to the life-saving treatment. His contribution wasn't just personal, it was woven into the fabric of medical history. Despite his age, Harrison continued donating until the day he was told he had to stop. Not because he wanted to, but because Australian regulations prevented people from donating past a certain age. It was a bittersweet moment, but even in retirement, he remained proud of the legacy he had built. His golden arm had changed the world. For decades, James Harrison walked into the blood donation center with the same quiet determination. But on May 11, 2018, his visit was different. This time, it would be his final donation. At 81 years old, he had surpassed the maximum age allowed for blood donors in Australia. Regulations required him to stop, no matter how much he wanted to continue. The nurses and staff, many of whom had known him for years, greeted him warmly. He had become a legend in the donation center, an inspiration to countless donors who had followed in his footsteps. As he rolled up his sleeve one last time, there was a mix of emotions: pride, gratitude, and a hint of sadness. This chapter of his life was coming to a close. As the final bag of plasma filled, James knew his mission was complete. With over 1,173 donations and more than 2.4 million babies saved, he had done more than anyone could have imagined. The staff at the center gave him a standing ovation. The moment was emotional, not just for James, but for everyone who had witnessed his dedication over the years. Though he could no longer donate, his legacy was already etched in history. His story had inspired countless people to become donors themselves. Even though his golden arm would no longer give, his impact would live on in every life he had touched. James Harrison's contribution wasn't just local, it became a global legacy. His plasma, which had been instrumental in saving countless babies in Australia, also made its way to international shores. Health organizations around the world began recognizing the significance of the anti-D immunoglobulin and its potential to save lives in countries with similar blood compatibility issues. In fact, many countries with high incidences of rhesus D incompatibility, including the United Kingdom, India, and parts of Africa, found themselves benefiting from the research and medical treatments derived from Harrison's blood. With the help of international collaborations, anti-D immunoglobulin began being distributed in different parts of the world, reducing maternal and infant mortality rates associated with HDFN. As the demand for plasma donations grew, Harrison's story sparked international movements, with campaigns dedicated to increasing awareness of rhesus disease and the need for blood donors. His unwavering commitment encouraged millions of people across the globe to consider donating, with a focus on building a global network of plasma donors for future generations. James Harrison's contribution forever altered the way blood donation and plasma treatments were viewed. His selfless act of giving showed the world the true power of generosity and the importance of community-driven efforts. What began as a small act of kindness in one man's life became a global movement that continues to save lives and inspire altruism worldwide. James Harrison's passing in 2025 marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on. The impact of his blood donations has been so profound that he will never be forgotten. His contributions to medical science and the lives of countless families have etched his name in history. His final donation was the culmination of a life spent giving, but his spirit continues to inspire. In hospitals and blood donation centers across the world, his story is told regularly to inspire future generations of donors. His name has become synonymous with selflessness and compassion, a shining example of how one person can make an enormous difference in the world. Organizations dedicated to blood donation have held memorial events, and statues in his honor have been erected. His contributions have become a benchmark for others to follow. James Harrison's legacy is immortalized not just in statistics, but in the countless babies who were born healthy thanks to his plasma. His name is carried forward through the millions of people who have donated blood after hearing his story. His example of generosity is a call to action, urging others to consider the profound impact they can have on the world. He is remembered as the man with the golden arm, but more importantly, he is remembered as a true hero whose legacy will echo for generations. Though James Harrison may no longer walk among us, his memory and his deeds will continue to save lives for as long as blood is needed. His golden arm will remain a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of one person's willingness to give for the greater good. And that is a legacy that will endure as bright and impactful as ever. Even after James Harrison's final donation, his legacy continued to make waves across the world. His contributions helped transform the field of medicine, particularly the treatment of rhesus D hemolytic disease. His blood plasma became the foundation for the anti-D immunoglobulin, which was used to prevent serious complications in pregnancies, protecting both mothers and their unborn children. Harrison's impact was so profound that the Australian government and the medical community immediately recognized his work. A national honor was bestowed upon him, with his achievements highlighted in various ceremonies, media outlets, and medical journals. Despite the accolades, Harrison never sought personal recognition. He remained humble, deflecting praise toward the researchers, doctors, and nurses who worked tirelessly to develop the life-saving medication. His story inspired many people to consider becoming blood donors themselves. Donation drives surged, and blood banks across Australia saw record numbers of new volunteers. People from all walks of life were moved by his selflessness and decided to contribute, just as Harrison had done for so many years. He had not only saved millions of babies, but had also sparked a movement of generosity and compassion. Today, as we reflect on his life, James Harrison's contributions live on in every newborn who has been saved and in the millions of individuals who continue to donate blood and plasma in his honor. His golden arm, now a symbol of hope, remains a beacon of altruism and dedication for generations to come. James Harrison may no longer be with us, but his extraordinary legacy continues to impact the world in profound ways. His blood donations saved 2.4 million babies, and his selflessness set a new standard for altruism in the medical community. The mark he left on the world serves as a reminder that even one person can make a tremendous difference. As we conclude this tribute to a true hero, it's important to remember that Harrison's story is not just about one man's incredible contribution. It's about the power of kindness, the importance of community, and the life-saving potential of something as simple as donating blood. His golden arm, his generosity, and his legacy will continue to inspire people to donate, help others, and think beyond themselves for the good of all. In a world where it's easy to feel that we're too small to make an impact, James Harrison proved that each person has the potential to change lives. His example challenges us all to think about how we can contribute to the world, to save lives, and to make a difference in our communities. So, as we remember the man with the golden arm, let's take action, whether it's by donating blood, helping others in need, or simply passing on his story. His legacy isn't just something we honor. It's something we carry forward with each donation and every act of generosity we perform. Let's honor his memory by living lives of compassion, and together we can continue to save lives, just as James Harrison did.